4-7 years ago.
4-7 years ago is when I got Speed 1, because that's how slow this mechanic is.
Which is ironic because it's supposed to be fast. Hey, listen to Commander Cookout Podcast, episode 477. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan. We're going to talk about the drivers from Aetherdrift. Now hit our theme song!
Pretty sure Gary's got no ears left. He blew his ears into a different dimension.
Ooh. Hey, Ryan. We're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
Good. What is going down?
A whole ton is going down. We're going to talk about some relatively lesser powered legends from what I would argue is not a very good set, while you would disagree with me.
Oh, no. Set's trash.
But we're going to get into that for a second, but I got to finish my intro first, and then we can talk about all that stuff, because we have to talk about some stories, some people, and before we get to any of that, we have to thank our official business daddies, FusionGamingOnline.com. They are a source for all your gaming needs, where you can use special promo code CCO Holiday to save 5% off all kinds of different stuff, which is really cool. Yeah, get Jake the Snake out of here. That stupid plant. We also have to thank Pile of Bones Brewing Co. They are the second coolest thing to come out of Regina, as well as being the official beer sponsor for CCO's Sidewalk Slam. Season 3 coming very, very soon to YouTube.
Oh, man. So much fun. Okay, couple things. Big thanks to producer Gary for moving Jake the Snake so you can see our featured product of the day.
Yes.
We're going to talk about that in a sec, but I got to do Sidewalk Slam first.
Okay.
Sidewalk Slam, game 1 of season 3. I finished the initial rough through. We talked about it yesterday on the pre-show. So fun. The intro is great. We do player interviews before and after the game with individual intros. It was a great game. Like, I'll do a little preview. Somebody cast Cyclonic Rift 4 times and did not win the game. 2 of those times, single target. What a loser.
I know, right? How do you even do that?
Yeah, so tons of fun there. Very soon. Yeah, sometime in February, I'm going to hand it over to T Coates for some of the finishing touches and stuff this weekend or last weekend from when you listen to this, whatever. And it's going to be great. Pile of Bones, of course, the official sponsors of Sidewalk Slam. We love to drink those beer. You see them on TV or on YouTube right beside this little new thing that I was showing you today. And you would have saw Jake the Snake Plant get moved if you were watching on YouTube.
Which it should be.
Because we appreciate Editor Joe. He works very hard. In my hand, I have got Canada's TCG's Perfect Bodyguard Perfect Fit Sleeves. Ooh, now these, the only reason I'm showing them off is because you can get them at FusionGamingOnline.com.
Oh, that makes sense.
And I shouldn't say the only reason I'm showing them off, because the other reason is they are a Canadian company. Ooh. And we're always looking for Canadian stuff like Nerd Gear and other creators that we talk to when we go to shows and stuff.
It costs way less to have that stuff shipped to our house.
Oh my God. Yeah, very much so. So you can get these. They're come in packs of 100. They're $3.99, which is cheaper than a couple of the other competitors who have perfect fits that you love so much.
Yeah, because some of them are the biggest, and just like Walmart, because Walmart is the biggest, and that doesn't mean that they're the best.
These are great. $3.99. You can use CCO Holiday promo code to get a discount on them.
Yes, you can pay even less for something that's already less expensive than the stuff you're probably already buying that works probably half as good because you bought it from Walmart.
I guess get into the CCO Discord if you're a patron to find out what the Walmart of card sleeves is.
Yeah.
We'll tell you in there. That's one of the great benefits to becoming a patron over at patreon.com/CCO Podcast. I got one other benefit. We're going through fast so we can get right to the legends. I'm open for altered art commissions, but I do like to offer my final offer before I say I'm full or whatever to the patrons. I sent out a Patreon post. I put it in the Discord a couple times. So if you're in the market, if you want to give a gift, if you want to pimp out your deck, single cards, multi-cards, full decks, whatever it is, I'm open. Get in touch with me either on Patreon. Discord. That's one of the benefits. Or commandercookout@gmail.com.
That's also fine.
Yeah.
I can read that one too, and then I'll know what you're getting, and we can. What's the word?
Collaborate. Yeah, Uncle Brando will get your email and ask if you got any dark misprinted Griffin Canyons.
And then I can have them so that Ryan can't.
Very much so.
I explained that to 3 new people at EDH&M
the
other night. Yeah. They're all like, because somebody played a Griffin Canyon.
Oh, who was it?
Is that a dark misprint Visions Griffin Canyon? And he's like, no, it's just from Visions. I was like, nah, dude, is it a dark misprint? He's like, what is that? And I explained the whole thing to him.
What deck was he playing?
It was a mono white piece of crap, actually.
There was a Griffin printed in, Mirage.
Yeah.
And then there was another one that was like his brother in the story that was printed in Modern Horizons 2 or 1 or something,
sure.
Right?
Sure.
Is that who he was playing?
I don't know. No, he was playing Macias the White. Like the white Macias. And then just a bunch of white weenies. And then he had that in there, I assuming, because he had creatures that were big that he wanted to make bigger. Or that flew that he wanted to make bigger.
That were also Griffins. That is literally the most important part of that card.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But there it was. And it was like, why are you doing this?
Yes.
Why is this? Why is this happening?
Yes, because you're an asshole and I can't have nice things.
That's right. I'm working very hard so you can't have nice things.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, I can't stop, no matter how much I want to.
This is my life, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. This is it.
It's commitment to the gimmick, baby.
I guess so. You're like the Undertaker of making sure I can't have what I want.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wrestling fans will know all about that. Now, last week we did our Aetherdrift first impressions.
Sure did.
Abilities and kind of how we feel about the special foil printings and the showcases. We talked about the basics.
Talked about a couple of cards.
Yep. Today, we're doing the legendary creatures, the drivers, if you will.
Yeah.
Next week is the set at large, the set proper, I guess.
Yeah,
our favorite stuff.
We'll do the rest of the
Yeah.
set. There's a couple of good hits, but overall we talked about it. I don't think this set is very good. We were actually talking about it at beers last night, and a couple of the guys said that this feels almost like it's an unset, that they just like tweaked and twisted at the last second so that they could squeeze out another just actual set.
The goofy showcases that are in that Rat Fink style that we talked about feels a little bit goofy. Some of the goblins driving like sledgehammer-shaped cars is like, what is going on? It is a little bit goofy.
Yeah.
But it's not so goofy that I don't like it. But I do agree, and this is when we'll get into the legends. There's 33 of them at this time.
Yep. As of recording, the spoiler season is not over yet.
Yep.
So there's probably a couple more to come, but I'll bet you they are going to be as mid as most of the other ones.
And not only that, but the midness of them, I think, is due to the rares that have to be rares because they're powerful and limited, that also showcase the for limited mechanics like top speed and not exert, but exhaust.
Yeah.
Right? And those kinds of things just don't go in Commander very good.
Yep.
So it's like, oh, unless I'm doing that deck or doing that thing with this commander that happens to be monocolored, right? It's like, oh man, I can't really do that very well. And then you have to go or lean on like, oh, this one's a goblin or this one's Duretti or this one's doing artifact stuff. And then it's just relegated to the 99 like 1,000 other legends are, or however many there are, right?
Yeah, they're basically just good creatures that you can't have 2 of in your standard deck. But since we don't play standard, we don't care.
So let's start talking about them a little bit. We got 29 that aren't vanilla right now.
We talked about the vanilla ones on the pre-show yesterday. You can check that out if you want to hear our thoughts on them.
Kael'Lorna Coral Tyrant is my favorite one. It's the 0/8 Octopus. I'm going to say that. It's a 0/8 for 2.
Yeah. Didn't we already have 0/8s for 2?
I have no idea.
I'll bet we did.
We had a 0/7 for 3?
I'll bet you we did. And if we do, Joe will have it on the screen. And if Joe can't find one, then I'll bet you he'll put the next best thing up there.
Yeah, that wall from
it's a glacial wall.
Alara Reborn. There was the blue-white one that was a 0/7.
That flew and gained life.
Is that the one?
That is the wall that you're talking about.
Well, that was a good wall.
Yes.
That was a good wall. Okay, well, let's start at the top.
Ass Cheek Emerald Radium.
I was going to call it Ass Cheek. Yeah.
Ass Cheek.
Ass Cheek Emerald Radian.
Oh.
Radium,
sure.
Radiant, Radian. Sure. This one's actually good. This is a 3/3 insect druid for green, black, 3. When it enters, create a 1/1 green insect creature token for each artifact and or creature in your graveyard. So you're going to get a lot of bugs because you're probably going to self-mail, do all the bug stuff, do the Mazarek thing with sacrificing, blah, 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 right? Whenever another insect you control dies, which is going to be all the time, put a +1/+1 counter on Ash Cheek. Each opponent loses 1 life.
Here's why I don't think this is very good.
No?
There's 2 reasons. 2 reasons. One, I could have sworn that this card already existed.
That doesn't make it bad.
That doesn't make it bad, but it's just, yeah. And the other one is just play Mazarek. It's a better card in almost every conceivable way, unless you're playing Dredge Bugs.
This is going to be, or this is going to be Aristocrat Bugs. And Mazarek will go in the 99 of that as like the emergency, sack 10 guys. I guess all my team of bugs is all 11/11s now.
Guess I win now.
Yeah, and in which case it does the Mazarek thing. But it's playing green, it's playing black, and you know what I like about this?
The picture.
You know what else I like about this?
Okay.
is I want to call what this deck is going to turn into Bug Ball. Dung Ball.
Dung Ball.
Dung Ball,
like that. Yeah.
Like Elf Ball, but not with elves.
But bugs and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And we just had that mono black bug that we were like, this is going to be a stacks commander or whatever, right? This could go alongside that, and you're sacrificing, you're making your opponent sack, they're losing life. Like this is cool. I like this.
Okay. All right.
I dig this one. If you said, Ryan, gun to my head, make a bug commander, this would be the one.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that. Cool.
Okay. Next one. I would not play this one, even if you did have a gun to my head. Basri, Tomorrow's Champion.
Is a 2/1 for 1 that has 1 tap, exert him. That means you tap him and he doesn't untap during your next untap step. What do you get for this? A 1/1 cat with lifelink. Or you can cycle him for white and 2. That means you discard him from your hand and then draw a card. When you cycle him, cats you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn, directly into the 99 of your cat deck. Moving on.
What he said.
On to Captain Howler the Sea Scourge.
This card's good.
This might be one of my very favorite arts in the entire set. And while I won't build him, I like this card lots. He's a 5/4 for 4, one of which is red, one of which is blue. He has Ward 2 and Pay 2 life, because hexproof you can't just have, I guess. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. For each card discarded this way, whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player this turn, you draw a card.
Oh my lord.
And it's a picture of a shark in a cape riding what is obviously a shark-shaped vehicle while shooting a cannon. This is the sleeve I wanted to do for the Kickstarter. Keep your eyes open for that.
Ooh, they beat us to the punch.
Damn it.
Bill's in the mail, Watsy. Yeah, everything that you said, I have to agree again. It's like we're on the same page about stuff so far.
What?
I love this guy because it's not just the wheel dot deck, wheel payoff, wheel discard a card, or wheel draw a card payoff. It's the I need to play a whole bunch of guys. Like imagine this is your 7 Dwarves commander, your Goblin commander, your red-based tokens commander. And it's like, oh, I'm going to cast Wheel of Fortune. I'm going to cast Wheel of Fortune. Or a variant.
Sure.
All my guys get +28/+0. That's awesome.
That's pretty funny. And it's only one guy.
Oh.
Yeah. It's just him. Probably, because then he'll...
Target creature.
Yeah.
I'm going to target him.
Yeah.
And he only needs to deal 21 to you. So
exactly.
if I wheel 2 times in a turn and hit you for frickin' 30.
That's enough.
Yep.
That's a Magic Rules fact.
Yep. Or I could, in this same deck, because this is a triggered ability when you discard 1 or more cards, you could
sneak your shitty 1/1 in and then cycle a bunch of cards to give that shitty 1/1 a bunch of power to wreck face.
Yes, you could do Infect there with Grafted Exoskeleton, or you could copy this with all of the red and blue copy effects that we have. So you could actually copy that triggered ability and then give you guys
more bigger.
Yes. The only thing about that is you do have to discard them all at once. Because it's a whenever you discard, target creature gets for each card discarded.
Yes.
Right? So you can't discard 1 and then copy it and then have all of the copies all happen at the same time. If you do it like 1 at a time.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, that guy's cool. I like him. The art, the ability, the colors for how we described, very good.
We're not going to build him, but he looks really cool.
Correct. This one I wish was not green because I would play this in my 99.
Okay.
This is Caradora? Sure. Heart of Alacria? Sure. How come I get all the hard ones?
Caradun, Heart of a Laxative. I like it.
Yes, sir. This is a Human Knight 4/2 for green, white 2. When she enters, you can search for a mount or vehicle, put it into your hand. Already good in the mount or vehicle deck.
Sure.
Already good. And if one or more +1s that get put on a vehicle, you or a creature or a vehicle, you can put an additional one. So it's also hardened scales.
So it's a hardened scales for vehicles or mounts, and it's a enlightened or worldly tutor for vehicles or mounts.
I think that we're going to see decks that are helmed by Caradora.
You think?
I bet you Aetherdrift's going to have them. I don't think I'm going to see any. I think I'm going to see 3-color or 4-color decks, 5-color decks that are vehicle based play her. Nobody's playing mounts in Commander, like nobody.
No.
And she's going to go into the 99 of something. Yeah? Mm-hmm. That kind of sucks.
That's too bad.
If she didn't have green in her and she was like more of the artifact colors, then she'd see actual play, I think.
But she's the opposite of the artifact colors, and so she does not. Let's move on to the next one. It's a goblin. It's mono red. It has to be good, right?
I think this guy is good.
Duretti, Rocketeer Engineer, is a star 5, 4/5, one of which is red. Power and toughness equal to the greatest mana value among artifacts you control.
Just power.
Power, sorry. And then he has the Duretti thing where you can sack an artifact that you have to get one out of your bin into play.
Whenever he enters or attacks, so he's always going to get his guy, I guess. Mm-hmm. And never have I heard his name read out loud before. I've only read it in my head, and I'm happy that now I've heard it. Duretti, Rocketeer Engineer.
Yeah, it's a thing. So I mean, if you have ever played Duretti, like OG Duretti, this is him on a big dude.
You know what
what this is.
You know what I like about this is this provides me another, and again in the command zone, version of Goblin Welder, Goblin Engineer, Trash for Treasure, Duretti Scrap Savant, Duretti, Rocketeer Engineer. What's another one? Felden of the Third Path.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we are getting a very high density of red does the artifact switchy thing. ETBs dies, ETBs dies, ETBs dies, and you can start to build a whole ton of value. Like, imagine a Spine of Ishza, Worm Coil Engine, Mirror Battle Sphere.
Ooh, the ham sphere?
Yes, the hamster battle sphere.
Yes.
Yes, which is very ridiculous. And man, so much freaking value. Like the Suchi style creatures that when they die, they give you mana. And if you can cast them for free, you get them back for free or get a discount on them. Like everybody knows the Junk Diver, Scrap Troller, Mirror Retriever combos.
Yeah.
They all go in this, and then you just get more and more and more value if you can also bounce and replay Duretti, and he's red, so he goes with Bergie. Now it's a Storm deck.
There you go.
Did we just build the deck?
We did it. Who knew? When you print a card that's already been printed, we can tell you how to play it. That works good.
Is that why? Is this okay? Hold on a second. I gotta line up all my thoughts here. I don't even know what I'm saying. So far, we've seen a few cards that are like, oh, we already have this.
Yeah.
Like the wheel deck in Is It, the Basri Cat deck, the Insect deck, Duretti.
Yep.
In 2 cards from now, Gonti.
Oh yeah, we're gonna.
You like that, Gonti?
No. No.
I know it sounds so miserable. We'll get to him in a second. Far Fortune End Boss.
I really liked the name of this card.
Uh-huh.
And I looked at the picture and I was like, man, this is gonna be so cool. And then I read it and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I want to know the lore behind this. Hey, Aiden's kicking up Commander Munchies again, so we are going to get to know what this is about.
Excellent.
A, and B, the name, the art, really cool. Gives me Mad Max Fury Road vibes, which I'm sure is what they're
it's supposed to do.
Yeah, it's a human mercenary, 4/5 for black, red, 2. Start your engines. So
you get speed every time your opponents lose a life once per turn. You get more speed.
Yeah, max speed is 4.
Then you have maximum of 4 speed. Correct?
Yeah, 4 speed. Whoa, that's real close to something else.
Like 4 skin,
You got it.
4 play,
Ooh.
4 score, and 7 years ago.
4 score and 7 years ago is when I got speed 1 because that's how slow this mechanic is.
Which is ironic because it's supposed to be fast. But it's not fast. It's very slow.
You do like irony.
I love irony.
Yeah. Okay, start your engines. That's what it does. Whenever you attack, Far Fortune deals 1 damage to each opponent.
That's very good because it means every time you attack, you're going to do a damage. It means you're going to get more speed.
Yes, and it does have 5 toughness, probably on turn 3 or 4 or 5. You can attack with this thing, and it is going to live. Probably.
Yeah, or you could just attack with your little dummy that you don't give a shit about, and it's going to do 1 damage, get blocked and die, and then you're still going to do a damage.
Oh, whenever you attack, yeah, it doesn't need to do...
Yeah, it doesn't need to be her.
Yeah, cool.
Whatever it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
now, max speed. If a source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent opponent controls, it deals that much damage plus 1.
Boy, am I ever glad I used 4 turns and probably lost 3 creatures getting that.
It gives your Terralf deck access to black, though. So maybe that's a thing that people might do?
No.
No.
No. Nobody's going to do that.
It gives your Gyerson Starn Pew Pew deck, instead of being red blue, now it's red black.
Nobody's going to do that either.
Okay. It does the Rakdos. What's the guy from frickin' Duskmourn? The red black guy? That Mr. Pain or Pain Butthole? Isn't there a card?
What?
There's a frickin' card.
Maybe.
Maybe this guy just goes in Rakdos Lord of Riots decks as like a mana dork.
That is correct.
You
Yes.
attack and it's like, take 1, everybody. I guess my Eldrazi's free.
Yeah. Yes.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Gonti Night Minister.
Okay.
So, people who have been listening to the show for not even very long, since Jumpstart, will know that I really liked Rev. Yeah, Rev.
Yep.
Rev, the mono black for 4, attack my opponents, get their cards, and make a treasure commander. Here we have a mono black, attack my opponents, take their cards, and make some treasure commander. Awesome! Except it costs 1 extra black pip, and it's slower, and it works for everybody.
I like the card. It's fine, and it does Gonti things, but it works for everybody. And it's not that I don't want to give my opponents value, but personally, I don't like the play, and specifically how play slows down when you have to look through a secondary hand that is your opponent's cards. I'm not interested in really playing against this card, though I know I will.
Because I'm going to play it in Rev.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
If it's in your 99, that's fine. I'll just try and kill it, and you probably won't cast it again.
Yeah.
Right? I don't like the play pattern that this is going to do. Now, thankfully, I don't think that people who are playing OG Gonti are or the new Gonti, the multicolored one, are going to go, oh, I'm going to replace my multicolor Gonti deck with this one.
No.
And I think OG Gonti is probably better because he just does it for you and doesn't give your opponents anything.
You know who else is better? Rev.
There you go.
Does the same thing faster just for you. He'll go in there.
And vice versa.
Because he does what she does. But, like, I can tell you after playing Rev a few times, while the deck is lots of fun, it's all hate all the time. And
because you're taking away your opponent's cards.
Yeah. And if that's getting pushed up another level by other people getting other people's cards, even more just, I don't have to kill this, but I'm going to because it's pissing me off.
Yes. And it's the exact kind of card. We're just dumping on it, eh? It's the exact kind of card that new players hate because you'll get their thing and randomly, oh, you got my only win con, or, oh, you stole my thing. I needed that land. Like, and then they just gun after you.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a hard card to play against. And then you make the deck stronger so you can still play. Instead of taking the deck apart because everybody hates it, you're like, I'm going to double down on this.
I'll show you, you fucks.
Yeah, and then everybody hates it even more. Yeah, so it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, I like this next guy. This is one of the commanders from the pre-con. This is Hashiton?
Assington.
Assington, Scarab's Fist. Anytime there's a fist in a name, I'm happy. Zombie Wizard 1/3. Whenever you discard a creature card, you can pay, get this, blue 2. Ooh. If you do, create a tapped zombie that's a 4/4 copy of the thing you discarded.
I think this is the first one that we're getting that I'm actually thinking, like, I could maybe build that.
You got your Tortured Existences?
I sure do.
There you go. That's the hint from yesterday.
I've got all of the black cards that do Tortured Existence stuff because I put them all into Hirobi because I want to, when my Hirobi dies, which she will, I want to bounce her back to my hand so I don't have to pay command tax. Mm-hmm. And all of those cards are going to work really good in here where you just chuck a creature and get a 4/4 version of that creature to get the creature back to either make another one or to actually play the first one. I think this is pretty cool.
I love that Magic is balanced based on power level of card is proportional to how much mana you have to spend to cast said card. Mm-hmm. This throws that all out the window.
Yes.
I just have to play discard in my deck, in my black deck. Like, that's hard to find.
Yeah.
Or draw and discard like loot in my blue deck. Like, that's hard to find.
Well, there's no blue. Oh, yeah, there is blue.
There's blue.
There's
yeah.
blue. You're looting.
Blue. You're looting, yes. And I can put in cards. I think of the card Kuro Pitlord. He's a 9/9 for like 9 that says pay a life and -1 your opponent's creature. If I can discard him and pay blue 2 and get a 9/9, and then I just go like, I don't know, I'll just pay like -3, -3, -3, kill your whole team.
It's a 4/4.
It's a 4/4. Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
But a 4/4 is still a fine body.
Yeah.
If I pay 3 for it and have these relevant abilities that jack the mana price of a card up. And if this card's good.
And if you're a super huge degenerate scumbag, you could also play this as a really, really stout stacks commander.
Ooh, probably you could.
Right? Because while you're sitting there like locked under your own shit, like, well, I got to discard this card. Oops.
It's a creature now.
Piece, and instead of it being a 1/1, it's a 4/4. So now it also beats.
Yeah, this guy's good.
This guy's very good. We're going to see some both casual and really degenerate shit out of him, I bet.
I agree, and we're going to see even more because it is the face commander from a precon. So we're going to run into this precon.
Secondary commander.
Sure.
Yeah.
Make him the first one. It's freaking good.
He's definitely the better of the two, I would argue.
Okay. Hazaret Godseeker, a 5/3 god for red 1, haste and indestructible.
Ooh.
Start your engines. Ooh. Can't attack unless you have max speed.
Or block.
Ooh, this guy's freaking sucky.
This guy sucks.
And then you go 1, tap, target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn.
Moving on, we have Ketramose, the New Dawn. This is a 4/4 for black, white, 1, menace, lifelink, indestructible, can't attack unless there are 7 or more cards in exile. Easier to do than you probably think. Whenever 1 or more cards are put into exile from graveyards and or the battlefield during your turn, you draw a card, lose life.
1 or more, hey? So I can't like exile somebody's...
You can't Bajuk them and draw 10, you just draw 1.
Oh, graveyard and put into... Damn it!
Works really good with the Scavenging Ooze if you're going to play it in a deck that has green. Because like you'd exile the creature, then you gain a life and lose a life, so your life stays the same.
You gotta find instances of single exile.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's how you solve this.
Yep. And that's it's pretty cool. It's an engine, it's a value creature. I don't think you're going to see it in the command zone very much. But it's a pretty cool card. I kind of dig that one.
You know what? I kind of feel opposite. I feel like there's probably a control strategy that you can have, and you put this guy in the command zone, and once you're kind of set up, you just go, what's his name? Ketramose?
That's what I call him.
Ketramose.
Ketchamoose.
Ketchamoose. You put Ketchamoose in, and it's like, I guess when I do my thing that I was controlling you with, now I'm just going to draw cards, and it a little bit snowballs, right? It like Ketchamoose kind of like takes it to the next platform of power once you say, okay, I'm going to just now draw cards when I do that, right? So I think this card is sneaky good, and it's a 4/4 with lifelink and menace for 3. So if nothing else, you play him on turn 2 or 3, and it's like, I guess I'm going to just start beating and gaining life now.
Is it a May? Oh, no, it's not a May. So if you play something like a Rest in Peace, you could hypothetically just kill yourself.
Oh, Rest in Peace, really good. If you Rest in Peace And then
anything
like
goes anywhere from anywhere.
And then Wrath of God, see, this is a controlled strategy now. Because I'm playing white and black, aka the sweeper colors.
Yep.
My guy's indestructible, and I'm just gonna draw cards every time I sweep the board.
Yep.
Ooh, see, this guy's gooder than you think. I think.
Sure. Let's keep going.
I want to catch a moose.
I don't. I'm happy he's from Amonkhet, though. I like seeing my boys from Amonkhet.
You know what we haven't said yet either about Hazaret and Ketchamoose, and there's one or two more, is they're gods. And that's a creature type that people just love. 5-color god decks and the prismatic bridge and all that stuff. They do those, right?
The truth. Yes, those are decks that certainly exist.
Yep.
And these are value creatures, except for maybe Hazaret. But Ketchamoose is definitely a value creature that would just go into the god deck, which typically has no synergy other than the fact that they're all gods.
Hazaret, probably a bomb in limited, hey? If you could like get that in sealed or draft. Probably very good.
It goddamn better be.
Probably very good.
How shitty it is.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to play this guy. This is the first one I'm going to play.
Okay.
This is Koladin Triumph Caster. And he's a 2/3 human pilot for red, white. Mounts and vehicles I control have haste.
Right.
Mounts, nope, I don't care about that one. Vehicles I control enter... they become an artifact creature till end of turn.
So you auto saddle your mounts and you auto crew your vehicles, and they have haste, and it's a 2/3 for 2.
I hate how they have to have those. Why can't mounts and vehicles just? Oh man, I hate that it's separate. Now we got to like have that text baggage on there.
And you think, ooh, it's got 3 paragraphs. It must be good, and it's like, nah.
Vehicles with haste is good. Auto crewing when you cast is good because, I mean, it gives you one more chance. I don't need to go into why haste is good.
Yeah, we know why haste is good.
But it only costs 2. It's really good because all my vehicles cost like 3 and 4 and 5. Like all the best ones.
All right.
Yeah.
How about Algorithm, Soul of Atlantica?
I think this card's good too. It's a 1/1 for green-white with flying. Saddle 1. So that's the frickin' tap a creature. It's crew, except it's saddle. When it attacks while saddled, put a +1 counter on each of up to 2 mounts and or vehicles.
Sure.
It's not very high power. It's the uncommon one. It's like the build around uncommon for limited that you always see, right?
Yeah.
It goes in the vehicle and saddle decks that have green in them, which exist. They're just not what people are doing by and large because mostly they're Boros or Boros with blue in them. They're very specifically not green.
Yes.
And the only ones that are black are playing like Greasefang or like what I'm doing, Brea, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We move on to what is probably the most obviously powerful one in the set. We talked about it on the pre-show last week.
You think this is the most powerful one?
Loot the Pathfinder? Absolutely. It has Ancestral Recall on it.
That's good.
It's good. Like, it has one of the most powerful cards in Magic ever printed, ever printed on it.
It's pretty good.
Recurable.
It's pretty good.
Ancestral Recall. And that's not all it does.
1, 2,
It also
3.
has Double Strike, Vigilance, and Haste on a 2/4 for 5 Teamer colors. And then it has three exhaust abilities. One of which is green tap, add 3 mana of any color. Blue tap, draw 3 cards. Draw 3 cards for 1 blue. Then Lightning Bolt.
Also good for red.
Yes.
Now,
so you demonstrate that you can reset this over and over again, and it just wins the game.
Yes.
It's what it does.
Very much so. From a fair perspective, it does cost 6 to activate the first thing, because he costs 5, and then you have to have another one if you want to do it the same turn. So
you do have to solve for the reset.
Yes.
But that's not hard to do. We've all seen...
I got this.
We've all seen the Blink decks, right? We've all seen the decks that just all they do is reset their board over and over again. I'm not saying he's too powerful, ban him. I'm just saying that this is a very overtly powerful card all by himself. And it's fucking loot, let's be honest.
Yeah, that sucks. He's a Pokemon. I like how you say you have to solve for the blink or the bounce. And I was going to say, yeah, that's what your deck's for.
Yeah.
Because this guy will just win you the game by himself because he's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy if you can infa-blink him.
Yes.
Because the first time you do it, you make the mana. The second time you do it, you draw the cards. Mm-hmm. The third time you do it, you don't even need to do it. If you do it with the mana, then you frickin' just lightning bolt.
Yeah.
I guess you do it. You do it with the draw 3 cards, until you can find your combo.
No,
you get the mana, then you get the damage.
No, he is the combo. You don't need a combo. You draw 3 cards until you can.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, and then he wins.
That's what I mean. I think it's going to be a little bit harder than you think.
Yes,
mostly the blink decks that you're maybe envisioning.
They have white in them.
They have white in them, which gives them a blink commander in the command zone, which is really how those decks are powerful. Yeah. And it's not to say blue can't do it and artifacts can't do it, because they certainly can. And even something as simple as like Conjurer's Closet, where you blink at the end of turn.
Yeah.
You could like blink at the end of turn, and because he's got haste, I can activate his other ability at the end of your turn, so I have like 2 of his things per round.
You get to Ancestral Recall 3 times a round.
That's freaking good.
That's pretty good.
That's freaking good, man.
Yeah, so be on the lookout. I'm not saying he's going to take over CDH, but I am saying that he's going to be a very powerful deck.
I like him. And he's my favorite colors. Maybe I got to play him somewhere.
Oh,
put him in my Cascade deck. I don't know if he's any good there, but...
Here's one I think you like.
This one's going in my deck too.
Medicant Core Guide Light is a star 3 for blue 1. Power, not toughness, just power, equal the number of artifacts you control. It has start your engine, so you get speed, do the speed thing we talked about. At max speed, whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may pay 1 colorless. If you do, copy that spell.
That's it. Yep.
So
it's fine. It is a creature, specifically not a vehicle, which I appreciate. And this is the thing where it's like, oh, it's 2 mana for something that's probably going to be pretty big and can crew literally anything in my deck. And it just has start your engines and max speed incidentally. Like, it's just tacked on as a bonus for a big beater.
Here's what I like about this one is it costs 2. So you can, if it's in your command zone, you can reliably start your engine on turn 2 every game.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think of that because I'm putting it into my 99.
Like, you'll actually have access to speed if you are doing something that gives a shit about it. And luckily, he does. And you can play him again once you have max speed to take advantage of the fact that you have it. I think he's sneaky good.
Good.
And could be a cool vehicle commander in his own right. I think he'd be a cool deck.
Well, when you look at all of, like, and I hate to keep going back to it, but I've been on there a lot lately to kind of do some research for my own vehicle deck, because it's 4 colors. It's not 2, it's not 3, it's 4, and I've never done it before. Sure. Okay, so I go to edhrec.com. You've heard of them before.
I've heard of them, yes.
Yeah, okay. And you search for vehicle decks. The most popular ones are the Azorius ones and the Boros ones.
Yeah.
And this guy is Azorius. He's 2 mana. He starts your engine and gets you your speed going immediately.
Yes.
And he is a 1/3 on his own accord. So if there's randomly, like on turn 3, somebody who's open, you can get another damage in on an opponent to tick your speed up.
Yep.
And start deploying your vehicles or your artifacts or whatever you're doing to move you towards max speed.
Very slowly.
Yeah. But hey, man, he's going to snowball too, because he's got a copy thing on him, right? Yep. And copying, it lets you break the number 1 rule of Commander, right?
That's right. You have more than one of whatever you want.
My ears always perk up when I hear the word copy on anything, right? And we know that's good. You ever heard of Doubling Season?
Yeah, I heard it's a good card.
Yeah. Some dude played it against me the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Did it do things?
Oh, and I had a Primal Vigor, which is like Doubling Season, but for everybody.
Yeah, much worse.
There was a 58-58 on the table. Then it got killed.
Good.
Hey, look at this. Mimeoplasm Revered one. We're getting him. Yeah, is he from oh man, the No Abilities plane? He's got to be.
Murganda? I assume
he's got to be, because he's just a big dumb idiot.
Yes.
And did you see who did the art on this card?
I did not. Who is it?
Ron Spencer.
Oh, you love him.
My favorite, yeah. So he's a 0/0 ooze for green, blue, black, X. When he enters, exile up to X creatures from your graveyard. Then he enters with 3 +1/+1 counters on it for each creature exiled this way.
Neat.
So he's going to probably be big.
Right.
Got to do some self-mill, but we're here for it. And then you can pay 2, and he becomes a copy of target creature exiled with him, except he is a 0/0 with this ability.
Now, if you do that and then he dies and you do it again, does he have access to the first casting's creatures?
I have no idea. Probably not.
Because that directly impacts how good this card is.
Well, if he doesn't, then he's not as good. And if he does, then he's very good. And what I really like about it is you can kind of do the Mirage Mirror thing with him, where it's like, I'm going to turn him into this, but respond by turning him into this.
Yes.
And then I'm going to respond by turning him into this. And then all those abilities just go like, chuk, 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 and he becomes all the 3 different things when they resolve. Yep. There's definitely tricks like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn him into a mana dork, and then into a Scuttlemot, and then to a mana dork, and then to a Scuttlemot, and to a mana dork, and you just and then all of a sudden you're blinking loot, and then you've won the game. It's awesome.
Yes. Different colors. Let's just do 5 color. Yeah. Prismatic Bridge, baby. Right. That's my go-to.
There you go. And then we have a card that I like because it made one of our predictions come true.
Yes.
And I don't like because I don't give a shit about her, and she kind of sucks. It's Moo Wanging Wind Rider.
Straight into my deck. I'm playing this one too.
It's a 2/4 for blue 2. When this creature enters, you get a 3/2 vehicle with crew 1.
Yep.
Vehicles you control have flying. Whenever one or more creatures you control have flying, deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. Cool. It gives your flying creatures Ophidian for approximately the cost of Ophidian. Goes in the 99 of a bunch of decks. We're going to move on to Nisa World Soul Speaker.
If your vehicle deck has white in it and you're currently playing the one that's a 3/1 that gives vehicles flying, take that one out, put this one in, because not only does it give your creatures flying, your vehicles,
yes,
it makes them Ophidian, draw a card when they hit you, or Curiosity. It also gives you 3 power worth of vehicles that also frickin' fly. This card's good. You got to be playing vehicles, though.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving along to Nisa World Soul Speaker.
I thought that this is a reprint, and then I read that it's got energy, and I'm like, no, this is new.
Yeah, this is
this is a 3/3 Elf Druid for 4, green 3. Whenever a land you control enters, you get 2 energy.
Cool.
Landfall energy. I wonder if Aiden's going to build. You can pay 8 energy instead of permanent spells mana costs. That's actually pretty good.
It's a free spell every 4 lands.
Can you can proliferate energies, right?
No.
They're counters?
I don't think you can.
They're counters.
Maybe you can. I don't know.
I think that you can.
I've never tried.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good comment. And with the mimeoplasm too. I think that you can. And this is another one of this is a backup singer, I think, or whatever, for one of the precons in the energy precon.
Sure.
I think, and this is one of the notes that I have, that energy is getting some more love. We had that other precon. We've had, back in the day when we went to Kaladesh originally, we've got another precon that's focused on energy. I like that we're kind of diversifying what we can do and what we see with energy. And I hope that one day we can get different build paths. Do you remember when cats first came out?
Yep.
And we were like, oh man, cats, you could do one thing with them. Now they're kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
And you can get tokens and you can get haste. You can do different colors. Then we got dinosaurs and it's like, oh, they're just big dumb idiots and there's like 13 of them.
And now they're amazing.
Now there's hundreds of them.
Now they're
right?
slivers, basically.
Yeah. And I feel like energy is similar, and I'm excited to continue to see more because it's still an underutilized resource in terms of the history of Magic.
Yep.
Right? And I want to see different strategies than just energy as a resource.
You are lying to yourself if you think this is going to be like an energy deck, though. This is going to be the big green things that costs 46 deck.
Yes, you're right.
This is another landfall deck that just lets you landfall harder, because in addition to playing 4 lands a turn, Aiden, you're also going to get to play something for free just for doing that.
What a dickhead. Hate it.
Right?
Yes, you're very right with this particular card, but everything I said about energy, still true.
Yes, also very true, just not necessarily about this particular card.
All right. Ovia Elvish Piper, but better.
Yes.
Okay. It's a 1/2 for 4, just like Elvish Piper.
Correct.
Actually, Elvish Piper was a 1/1.
So it's a...
Better already.
Yep.
Human Artificer, so it does have relevant creature types.
Sure.
Each creature that's attacking one of your opponents has trample.
That's very good.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good in the big dumb idiot green deck. And green, tap, put a creature or vehicle from your hand onto the battlefield. If you put an artifact onto the battlefield this way, put 2+1 counters on it. It's kind of weird.
Now, nobody plays Elvish Piper. Nobody plays the Amulet Elvish Piper.
Quicksilver Amulet.
Yeah, like those cards don't see a lot of play. Do you think now that you can put it in the command zone, we're going to see it?
I don't think we're going to see it for that reason. I also don't think we're going to see it very much because of your other reason. Like nobody plays Elvish Piper.
Nobody does it now. Why would they do it here?
Because
that each creature attacking one of your opponents has trample is actually...
That's good.
That's a really cool ability that makes this card playable. And I think if I can get one, I'm going to try it. Not as a deck, but like I'm going to find somewhere for this to belong.
You know why we're going to see this card? Because recency bias. We think of playing at the LGS.
Yep.
And or how much new product gets opened, whether there's new players upgrading their precons or building their first deck, or how much new product gets opened by enfranchised or veteran players.
Yep.
And say, hey, do any of those players care about trample? Do any of them say, oh, Elvish Piper was good back in the day? Yep. Or any of the new players, do they say, oh my god, I can cheat mana cost of my 8-drop?
I can put an Ulamog into play. Wow.
Exactly. And because this card is right in front of them...
Now I just have to buy an Ulamog.
Yeah. This card's right in front of them. It's going to make them all say that.
Yes.
Is it going to be in the command zone?
No, probably not. Like one time. And then somebody's going to be like, oh yeah, I can play somebody. I'll just play Kamal Fister of Krosa. It's better.
Or whatever green thing that you want to actually build your deck around.
Yeah.
And then this is just a bonus. But that's fine.
Fuck a both.
Yes. This is a totally fine card to exist, and I'm sure if I saw it and don't have removal, I will probably get pounded by it.
Yes.
The next card, not so much, but it does have my favorite mana cost.
Okay. Teamer.
Pia Nalar, Chief Mechanic. Sure. 2/4 Human Artificer for Teamer. Whenever one or more artifact creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you get energy.
Sure.
One or more?
So you get 2 energies.
I hit you with 10 guys, I get 2 energies.
That's right.
That's bullshit.
If you hit 3 people with 10 guys each, get 6 energy.
Hey, that's pretty good.
That's all right.
One guy with one guy?
2 energy.
No. Sorry. One guy with one guy each.
6 energy.
There we go.
There it is.
Okay. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1 or more energy. If you do, create an XX colorless vehicle artifact creature token named Nalar Aetherdrift with flying and crew 2, where X is the amount of energy paid this way.
Sure. It's not legendary. That's good.
Yes, so I can continue making them. She's building a fleet of race cars, or in this case,
hover cars.
Ether jets. Yes.
Sure. It's fine. It's a fine card. I think we'll see it. It's one of the precon. I think it's the face commander for precon.
I think it is. You know what? Man, I want that mana cost and this character and the vehicle making energy thing. Like, all of this is screaming at me like, Ryan, you need to play this.
But it has red.
But I'm not a huge fan of those like incremental, like linear value strategies that are like when you attack and then at the end of your turn, it feels like it's not enough to me. I lose to them all the time. I'm not saying they're not good. I get my ass kicked. But I don't know. It's like, not my thing. Kind of sucky. Yeah. 2 in a row that I really like. Oh, I know.
I
knew you'd like this one.
One of them I don't actually care for that much. We talked about it on the pre-show. Redshift Rocketeer Chief is a 2/3 for red-green. Vig. Tap, add X mana of any one color, where X is its power. Spend the mana only to activate abilities. And it has Exhaust. And the Exhaust cost is red, green, 10. Put any number of permanent cards from your hand into play. And I'm here to tell you, everybody goes, woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo, when they read that. And then the reality of actually having to pay 12 while having a mitt full of things that cost more than, let's call it, 6 each to make that actually good. Because why are you ever going to pay 12 mana to put 2 5-drops into play? You're not. You're just going to pay 10 and put them into play. Right? Like, it's not that good unless you're in the very niche thing where you've wheeled yourself into a new hand, and in that new hand is all your Eldrazi Titans. And then you pay 12 and you go, nah! and then you get wrathed.
Yeah, and you know what? You think, oh man, I'm just going to pump him up so he's like a 12, 15 or something. And it's like, well, you've used all of your stuff to do that.
Yeah, you don't have anything left.
And it's like...
So
then you got to put... what do you got to put in your deck? You got to put in Tooth and Nail, Other Tutors, Rishkar's Expertise, Shamanic Revelation, and
a bunch of little dudes that make a bunch of dudes to enable those cards. So you get lots of mana and draw lots of stuff. And then when you activate the ability, you've got 4 mana worth of things in your hand that you put into play. This is not very good, and I think a lot of people are going to get trapped by it.
You know what? I think the same thing, but I also want to be on the other end of it where somebody goes 12, drop down 60 power worth of guys. Yes. I also want that.
I would love to see that, but that's going to happen so rarely that I'm not even thinking about it.
You know what? I think it's going to be more often than you think. I would like to come back to this guy in a year and say, hey, how many times... if we know somebody who builds it,
let's do it.
And then say, oh man, I got pounded. Remember when Ben did this and that and I took like 50? Yeah.
Now we're running low on time, but I have to talk about the next one that's right next to him. The thick frog goddess.
She is thick.
And she is a goddess because she's a god. And she also has a frog head. She's a 6/6 for 5, reach, trample, indestructible, can't attack or block unless it has an even number of counters on it.
Sure, Simic bullshit.
At the beginning of your first main phase, she gets a +1/+1 counter. Then if she has an odd number of counters on it, you draw 2 cards. So every other turn you have a 6/6, and then on the other turns you just draw 2. She's cool. I like her. If I get one, which I'm going to buy one, I'm going to play her.
6/6, 7/7, 8/8, 9/9 over consecutive turns, and every other turn, if you don't put another counter on her, you draw a card. Or probably what you do is make it so she's odd, draw 2 cards, put a counter on her so she's even, and then pound.
Yeah.
Because she got reach and trample.
That's right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put her into Atraxa. I'm going to draw a card because it's got an odd number of counters on it. Then I'm going to make her even at the end of turn so I can block with her because she's a 6/6 that has reach and is indestructible. And then on the next turn, I'm going to make her big, and you see how it goes.
Yes.
It's going to be really good. I like this card a lot, and I'm looking forward to playing it in the 99 of my Atraxa deck.
Oh, well, very good. I like the art on the next card a lot. This is Saheeli, Radiant Creator. 4/4 Human Artificer. Whenever you cast an Artificer or an artifact, you get an energy.
Cool.
Yeah, cool if you can cast like 1,000 of them in one turn.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like there's already ways to do that.
At the beginning of combat on your turn, you can pay energy. If you do, create a token that's a copy of target permanent you control, except it's a 5/5, and it gains haste, and then you sacrifice it. Oh, that's another one of those things where it's like, man, I got to attack to do this, and then I get one thing.
And you're already bouncing 85 artifacts. Like, you probably already won the game.
I need different energy payoffs in this deck. And probably because it's a precon commander, I'm not going to get like the infinite teamer bullshit that I want to do. So
get.
Love the art though.
Very cool.
Yeah, very cool. Samut back. Start your engines. Other creatures you control get +X/+O, where X is your speed.
That's cool.
That's actually good.
That's really good.
Yep. And she, of course, has First Strike, Vigilance, and Haste. And this part's good.
Yes.
Non-creature spells you cast cost X less, where X is your speed. This is a combo engine.
Let me tell you why this card sucks.
Oh.
Because she costs 6.
Oh.
So in order to get your engine started, you have to be at 6. So in order to make this happen, you need to be at max speed when you play her at 6. Which means you have to jam all the max speed shit into your deck to make her go.
Oh, man.
So she costed herself out of being a really cool card. I'm not saying she's bad, but like...
It's like they knew.
It's like they knew that, oh man, this is kind of broken. We're going to have to just tack a 3 on there, guys, and we'll... right?
Oh, man, yeah. Well, okay, here's the thing. I got one more creature I want to talk about, and then instead of Editor Joe giving us the hook, it's Producer Gary.
Producer Gary, that's what we pay him the big bucks for, baby.
Frick.
2 minutes, fuckers.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to talk about Temet, Noctimoon's Will.
Face commander of the other precon deck.
This guy is so good. This is the kind of card that makes me move away from mono black zombies into zombies of other color. So Esper and 2 for a 4/4 zombie wizard. Relevant creature types both there.
Yep.
Vigilance and menace. Whenever you attack, draw a card, then discard a card.
Sick.
Okay. whenever you draw a card, zombies you control get +1/+1 until end of turn.
That's pretty good.
So if I go like Blue Sun Zenith with a team of 2/2s out,
Yep.
I'm just going to frickin' kill everybody.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
Keep in mind with his backup commander that we talked about way earlier, the card that you discard could be like a zombie lord, and you could pay blue 2 to get a 4/4 zombie lord that makes your team even bigger.
Oh my god.
Right? They work very good together. That's a cool card. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. I want to talk about a few more, but we're going to move it to either the pre-show next week or next week's show proper, because we're just going to do our favorite cards.
Yeah.
Producer Gary's going to wring our necks. So thank the business daddies. Give us your final thought on the general... I guess we know what your final thoughts are on the general quality of the commanders in this product.
They're junk. They're junk. They're trash. They're a wreckage on the side of the road.
They're jalopies.
Some of them are going to go in the 99.
Beaters, lemons.
Yep.
What other car jokes can I make?
They're flat
Because
because their tires are
they have a flat tire, yes.
Right? The point is
Yes.
they suck and not blow, and they're not inflated, and fuck all of them. And some of them are vanilla, and that sucks. But what doesn't suck is FusionGamingOnline.com, where you can use special promo code CCO Holiday. Save yourself 5% off all the cards, the games, the accessories, the cool perfect fits that we talked about earlier on. Show them on their thing there, Ryan. They're going to be real good. You can check those out. Also, thanks to Pile of Bones for giving us beer to drink while we play Magic on Sidewalk Slam and off of Sidewalk Slam. Thanks to producer Gary for being patient with us, having us here, and giving us a place to record that always has a little heater pointed directly at me. And there we go. And thank you guys so much again for watching. We're going to be back next week at the rest of Aetherdrift on the next exciting episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song!